Hello and welcome to the BlueMilk podcast, where we like to talk about anything and everything Star Wars related. If you have any questions or comments, please write them down now. My name is BJ.
I hope you all realize how disturbing this really is. I'm drinking.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Jacob.
I'm disturbed.
And we're here to help you learn about Star Wars.
Yeah, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
I do have a short one. I think it's a short one.
Okay, here. Throw us a short one.
What
the fuck you
fucker?
want?
Yeah,
You
I
don't
was
know.
about to say it.
Okay, Tyler has one for us.
Okay,
Tyler.
go for it.
Is it short?
Yeah.
All
okay.
right.
Ish.
What would be your favorite era?
Ooh.
Old Republic.
That's not going to be short.
Old Republic.
I'd have to agree with BJ. Mine would be Old Republic.
Old Republic, primarily because, in my opinion, for my go on this, Old Republic is my favorite because it has the least information told about it. So there is the most allowance in what you can do with it. Like, you can make up your own stories. You can make up your own kind of thing. Because, I mean, honestly, if you look at any of the games or the literature involving the Old Republic, the technology is astoundingly like the same.
Yeah,
as like as the same as like the Rebellion era, as the same as like the Republic, like the New Republic. It's the First Order. It's the technology hasn't really advanced.
It's just different designs. That's pretty much it.
Not even really different designs. I mean, if you look at the lightsabers in KOTOR, like Knights of the Old Republic, or the Old Republic MMO, or the Darth Bane books, or any of the old non-canon fucking like Old Republic kind of literature. Yeah.
I'd have to agree with that.
You don't like any of the descriptions involving it. None of it has really, like, none of it sounds different or unfamiliar in any way to what you've seen in the movies.
True.
I'd have to agree but disagree with your original statement of how you get least knowledge. I agree, yes, you do, but you also find out a lot more about how the Star Wars galaxy was created, like with the Rakatas and
the Rakatan Empire and all that. But the thing is like those are all hinted at. Like the Rakatan Empire is only mentioned in KOTOR 1. Like they never really talk about.
It's mentioned in the Old Republic as well.
Well, yeah, in the Old Republic, but it's just meant it. You find, but they just reference stuff that you find out in KOTOR.
You literally run into a tribe of Rakatas.
In the KOTOR 1, you do the same thing. I'm talking about that. Like, in the Old Republic, the MMO, only really references stuff that you find out in KOTOR.
Right.
But, I mean, in KOTOR, it definitely talks about a lot of that stuff. But the thing is it doesn't really... It's only in that. Like, KOTOR 2 doesn't really have a whole lot with that. It involves mostly just the Starforge and, like, forgotten technology, stuff like that.
No, it kind of deals with the death of the Old Republic. I'm
talking about technology-wise here, man.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Like, it only deals with, like, the Starforge and stuff like that.
Right.
But, like, if you look at it, like, overall, that's only, like, KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2, and the Old Republic all span, in, like, the time frame is, like, 1,000 years. But all of that is, like, 3,000 years before Episode 4.
Right.
So if you look at, like, the grand scheme of things, it literally is only covering, like, a couple hundred years, several thousand years before Episode 4. So there's like this huge time frame where you know nothing.
A lot can happen.
Like anything could happen.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Well, even during the time of A New Hope and all that, a lot can happen. We're only seeing this little bit of what's actually happening in the entire galaxy.
Between Episode 1 and Episode 7, they're only really covering, like, what, 50 years?
Okay.
We'll round it up to, like, 80.
Yeah. All right.
But, like, that's an 80-year time frame, and, like,
we're only focused on a few characters.
Yeah,
so
we're only
so much else going on.
Exactly. Yeah. And then in the Old Republic, like KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, they only take place
5 years apart.
Yeah, like it's an even smaller time frame. I mean, between KOTOR 1 is like the span of a couple of months in game time, and then there's a couple of years, 5 years between KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2.
Because Bastila is still alive. You actually you get to see her only briefly if you're a male character. She actually comes in with Cartho Nasi while you're on.
What, in KOTOR 2?
Yeah. What's the beginning planet? I forgot. Not Terrace. Terrace is the
and
first
KOTOR
one.
2?
Yeah.
No, KOTOR 1 is Terrace.
Right, that's what I was saying. The beginning planet, well, she comes with Cartho Nasi to talk to the admiral who detains the exile.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can kind of guesstimate about 5 years between KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, and then you can guesstimate about 600 years because Satil Shan in Legends...
No, not even 600. She's like the great... There's the great
5 generations.
There's 5 generations between Satil.
And
a generation's only like 20 years?
It depends on your definition of generation.
I think the definition of generation was death.
If you have a kid, that's the next generation.
Yeah, so it's like 20.
If that kid has a kid, that's the next generation.
Like
so time period really doesn't play a part.
20, 30 years.
You can have an average, which would be closer to 50.
Maybe I'm wrong on my generations then, because Bastila is definitely dead in the Old Republic.
Well, yeah, but the thing is she would have been dead by the time that Satil's grandmother was born.
Right. True.
Because you're alive while your grandparents are alive.
Right.
Generally.
In most respects.
In most respects, yeah. I mean, like...
Not always.
Most grandparents will see their grandchildren.
No, I think I was incorrect, because I think I remember in one of the missions, you asked Theron, because Theron introduces himself to you as the hero of Typhon, as Theron Shan. And then I think you ask him if he's related to Satil Shan, which at first he's like... He turns to the general. He's like, "This is why I want a code name." But later on, you kind of bring it up again, and he goes. I think he says that he's the 8th generation in the Shan family.
So Satil's like his grandmother.
Satil's his mother.
Satil's his mother, so she would be the 7th. So if you go about 30 years between generations, that's like what 200-300 years.
Yeah,
in between 2 and 3.
Well, even if you go 20 years.
Yeah.
Which would be...
So your favorite era is the Old Republic.
Yes.
Same thing with you.
That was a long way around to get to that.
Yeah.
Well, we were explaining why. But I mean, yeah, we got it.
Okay.
All right. What about you?
Everyone's gonna hate me. This is completely.
I hate you anyway.
Completely contradictory of what I have said already. That I love the Clone Wars era.
Wow.
I love the Clone Wars era. Hate Attack of the Clones. The Clone Wars era.
Wow.
It's because of the animated.
Mandalorian?
Yeah, but you love the Clone Wars animated show.
The show is fantastic. It is simply amazing. They dive a little bit deeper into the Mandalorian, and even in Rebels, they show some more comparison, and they actually talk about the Mandalorian Wars.
It's weird that
I still have to watch all the Clone Wars and Rebels and whatever.
It's weird that you're such a huge fan of the Imperial. Like you're aligned with the Imperials, but you love Mandalorians. So.
I love Star Wars. So I mean, there are favorite aspects.
We all love Star Wars.
I love the Imperials.
Wouldn't be here if I didn't.
I love the Mandalorians. I love the Sith and Jedi. I don't like the Jedi that much.
I like some Jedi.
I like the Jedi to a certain degree. I mean,
Obi-Wan, Luke.
No, they're all bitches.
No.
I mean, Yoda's...
I don't like Yoda.
Yoda's alright.
Really?
Yoda's a bitch, but he's alright.
No, Obi-Wan's a bitch?
Oh, God, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we're not getting into this discussion again.
Why not?
Era.
No.
That's why.
Oh.
We're talking about our favorite era. So Clone Wars, I like the Clone Wars because I like the warfare. And they're starting to kind of give us that a little bit in, like, with Battlefront, with, like, the new campaign, but that takes place...
You mean Battlefront 2?
Sorry, Battlefront 2 takes place...
You gotta specify, man.
After
Battlefront 1 is shit.
6? Sorry. After Episode 6. So, I mean, we're not getting much. I want warfare inside the original trilogy, which is why I love the original Battlefront 2, because you can play different battles in the original trilogy or the prequels. But yeah, Clone Wars.
Battlefront 2 is spanning all the...
It spans from episode 1 to episode 7. Because you get to go to Tatooine, and that's technically in...
Well, Tatooine's in several, but yeah, regardless.
No, that's true.
Yeah, but it's in technically 4 episodes. No. Yes?
Yeah.
It's in 1.
No. Yeah, he goes back. It's in 2.
It's in 2. 4.
And 6 with the special edition, sadly.
Wait, what?
The special editions show it.
What do they go back to Tatooine for in 6?
With the celebration after the Emperor is
it
killed.
shows them celebrating.
It shows them on Tatooine.
It goes to Tatooine anyways in the very beginning of the movie when they go up rescue Han.
That's also true.
Yeah, because
Jabba's pals.
Where the fuck are you?
We took the long way around that.
Jesus Christ!
So apparently, fuck Han Solo.
No,
Yes.
Jabba.
Well, that's true.
No,
that's true.
we
'cause
know
Han
you
Solo
hate.
was part of Jabba's shit. So, and you hate Jabba, so Han Solo would be.
I don't hate.
Well, technically,
blocked
I
from the
mean,
mind.
Boba Fett. You would hate Boba Fett too.
Yeah, because technically he does work for the Hutts.
And he would also hate Slave Leia.
Boba Fett where?
You love Boba
I
Fett.
love Boba Fett.
He's a Mando, the last Mando.
That's not true.
I know it's not true.
It was downturn.
Stupid.
last Mando.
The whole good versus evil thing, dark versus light.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the gray area of both Jedi and Sith.
This will be more you guys.
You're interested in the gray area of Jedi.
Absolutely. And why haven't they explored that? Why is the gray area? Why do they focus on the dark versus light and not the gray area? Because that would be true balance.
It was recently, I guess you would call it, made canon because of
I don't give a shit about canon. I'm asking you guys.
No, so the reason they won't write or make a movie or do anything involving Grey Jedi for the most part is because it's not compelling enough. There's no drama.
Oh, really?
There's no drama if someone is already there because
no
the drama is the light versus the dark, the good versus the evil.
In gray.
So it's not necessarily conflict. It's just that you got to look at where the original writer George Lucas was coming from when he actually made the story of Star Wars to begin with. When he actually started creating everything, the whole concept was good versus evil, hero's journey from like a farm boy to a hero.
I get that.
So I mean, if there was more
interpretation of good and evil,
well, gray would be more along the lines of someone who's just.
It would
confident in their capabilities and understands what their actions mean and willing to deal with the repercussions of their actions.
So Han Solo.
It would seem to me that
because Han ran away from a lot of his choices.
But I mean, in episode 4, he was kind of the great character because he knew about his actions from if he did not go pay.
But he kept running from them. He didn't actually deal with the repercussions of his actions. He just ran away with Chewbacca and became a smuggler, and they kept running.
I'm talking about episode 4, though. This just episode 4. He is technically the great character in episode 4 because he knew about his actions when he did not go to see
To be
Jabba.
fair, okay, the original version of episode 4 before Greedo, whatever, shot first.
Yeah,
fuck that shit.
Han shot first.
Han shot first. Period. Go ahead,
I'm not
boy.
answering this.
Why not?
Han shot fucking first.
Han shot first, brah.
No.
What?
Greedo
It's
did.
my angry voice. Really?
Yeah.
Have
Really?
you not seen the original version?
I have. Yeah. And I also understand the reason why they edited it.
And?
They want to make Han Solo appear more like a good guy instead of a...
No, it's bullshit.
No, that's why they
Han was a fucking smuggler. He shot first. Period.
Shot first.
There is no argument there.
He thought that it made him look too much like a bad guy if he just shot someone in cold blood. That's why they
bad
made
guy.
Han wasn't
My mind
a bad guy.
No.
He wasn't like Darth Vader.
This is where the gray thing comes in.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right, now, let me explain something.
Okay.
Gray, to me, anyway, would give more of a conflicting view of things because you have the good side trying to persuade the Grey to go to the good side. You have the evil side, the dark side, trying to persuade the Grey to go to the dark side, where the Grey is actually the true balance. So that would be more conflicting from the Grey's point of view.
Okay, so if you want to look at it in any way, when someone is actually balanced, there is no conflict in there is no inner turmoil in their decisions.
Not for them, no. It's for everybody outside of their
But the thing is that doesn't cause... It's the whole point of the
conflict
the whole point
comes from everybody outside of the Grey.
But the thing is that's not a compelling story if the person going around is like, yeah, I know what I'm doing and I'm totally okay with it and everything like that. But everyone else is upset. Yeah,
that's
the thing is the story the Star Wars story has always been about the inner turmoil of a person and the actions that they have done.
That's
like,
what I mean.
Han Solo conflicted about being with the rebellion and yet not wanting to get involved. Like, that's where his inner turmoil comes from and how he overcame that by the end of episode 4 to help someone that he had grown to like.
For a Grey, there still would be inner turmoil because there would be that temptation to go this way or that way. If they were perfectly balanced...
No, see, that's the problem.
Yes, it wouldn't matter.
That's the difference, though, between your idea of Grey and my idea of Grey. My idea of Grey is someone that is balanced. They know the difference between light and dark, and they don't have that conflict because they know how to navigate between the two.
The conflict comes from everybody outside of them. So
but there is no conflict because
on the Grey.
There is no conflict. But I mean, if I was
everything could be built around them.
If I was to use the only example of a Grey Force user that's ever
loves to argue with me.
If you can really only use the one example of a Grey Force user that's ever actually existed in any Star Wars mythos, which is Jolie Bindo.
Right. Which I don't know about.
He is Grey because of the fact that he removed himself from the external conflict. He put himself in the Grey? No.
Who?
Revan.
No.
Why not?
Because
Okay, so what is Revan?
Revan
was a Jedi.
Revan was originally a Jedi who then decided that when the Mandalorians started invading the Republic and actually started taking over the Republic, and the Jedi wouldn't do anything, he said, "Fuck you guys, I'm gonna go help the Republic." Yeah, he said that to the council. He's like, "Fuck you guys, me and Malik," who was his best friend.
His apprentice also.
Well, he became his apprentice, but originally it was Revan and Malik, who were both best friends, that decided, fuck the Jedi Council because you guys are being indecisive assholes and not helping the Republic like we're supposed to. And so they went, and a bunch of Jedi went with them, and they went and helped the Republic soldiers fight off the Mandalorians. And because of Revan and his assistance with all the Jedi, the Republic actually won. They managed to push and defeat the Mandalorians back. And they took them back to Malachor 5.
Mm-hmm.
Malachor 5 was the planet where, like, the final battle actually happened.
And it crippled the entire planet.
It destroyed the planet.
The Star Forge, right?
No. Malachor 5 was that really fucked up planet that, like, has... essentially, like, what happened to Malachor 5 is the planet got turned inside out.
Basically.
Through the Force.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because of what happened at Malachor 5 is the reason why what's KOTOR 2's...
The Exile.
The Exile in KOTOR 2 is the reason they are the way they are is because of Malachor 5 and what happened there. Because what happened there is so traumatic to just about everyone that was involved. The Exile actually had... They cut themselves off from the Force, but became an echo of the Force. And what that means is the Exile is able to leech Force powers off of other people.
Uh-huh. Oh, kind of like what I do with you guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, but the only Revan was a Jedi. He was a light side Force user for all intents and purposes until after Malachor 5. Which changed him, and then he became Darth Revan.
And the Dark Lord of the Sith.
And since he was more powerful than Malik submitted to Revan and became Revan's apprentice.
Okay, question. I know we're tangenting, but Darth Revan, who was his master if he became a Darth?
So he actually found the old Sith teachings because there was actually no Darths at the time.
As Bane did.
Yes, but Bane found Revan's teachings.
Right.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
And
Bane,
there was actually a Sith
Yes.
temple
Yes,
on
yes,
Malachor 5.
Okay.
They actually
Yeah.
made that canon, you know that, right?
Yeah.
All that. Well, that's where Ahsoka and Vader fight, actually.
no shit on
Yeah, it's
Malachor
real-
5?
and yeah, they like glassed it over. You know how like the Covenant does in Halo? They glass the entire planet, and they like break through. And yeah, the whole Inquisitors and everything, they're fighting each other, and Ahsoka is like, yeah, and that's where Kanan gets become blind and whatnot too. Yeah,
Kanan.
Yeah, Kanan. Sorry,
It's okay.
But yeah, they fight, and I think it's. I don't know if it's called Malachor 5 though. It sounds right, but I don't know.
Regardless,
Yeah.
that's where the final fight between the Mandalorians and the Republic took place, and that's what scarred everything. But that's when Revan became a Darth, because he had found the teachings of like the older.
So he called, as Bane did, he called himself a Darth.
Yep.
He because a Darth isn't a Darth unless. So the way it works is essentially when a dark side Force user feels like they are the epitome of the dark side, they take. They aren't given. They take the title of Darth.
Okay. Continue.
Regardless, when a dark side Force user gets to the point where they feel like they're powerful enough, like they're the apex of the dark side, they essentially take the title of Darth, and if they're strong enough, they'll keep it. By killing everyone else who seems to think that they aren't, like, that person says they're a Darth. Well, fuck them, I'm gonna go kill them. And if they're worthy of the title, they'll kill everyone that tries to kill them.
Which is the reason why Malak became the Dark Lord of Sith, because he turned against...
I thought
Revan
Revan found the old Emperor.
No, they didn't find
still alive.
They didn't find. No, they didn't find. Revan didn't find any of that information until after, because that's the reason why at the end of KOTOR 1 he goes off into dark space.
Because he finds about
because he says he's going out there to fight off
unknown region, right?
Yeah, the unknown region, to fight off an unknown enemy that is hinted at in the Old Republic MMO that Revan knew about the Emperor and the old Sith Empire that had been exiled out of known space and then was coming back.
They weren't exiled. They lost a fight. They lost a war.
Yeah, they lost. Well, they were technically exiled. I mean, you could say the Empire, the original Sith Empire that started with the capital of Korriban. They lost the original war.
It is Korriban.
No, I know. I was on it because.
But their capital of Korriban, they lost the original war, and so the Republic came in and fucking exiled them. They're like, no, fuck you guys, and so they left and went into
Actually, they didn't know that
unknown space or whatever.
It was a separate part of the Sith because
they ran away or whatever. But this is a long time before Revan's time. This happened a long time ago. It wasn't the second Hyperspace Wars. It wasn't any of those.
Oh, I thought it was the Hyperspace Wars.
No, it was a later war.
Before all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But regardless, so Revan would be turned canon. If you go by the way the story's supposed to be, Revan was light, became dark, and then was redeemed and became light again.
Because he forgot everything.
So he ended up being light.
Yes, and that's why. Then he went out into the distance.
So he made a choice. Then he was light, dark,
and
then
they actually found him in the Old Republic, the MMO, and there are Sith that worship Revan as the ultimate
the Revanites.
Force user, because they believe that his journey going from light to dark and then back to light and then back to dark again.
So why didn't he just stay gray?
He never was gray. That's the problem.
It was one or the other.
Yes.
It's always one or the other.
In Revan's final form in the MMO, he actually has. So he's gotten so conflicted about the two that his physical body is dark side. His physical body is maintained by the dark side, but his Force spirit has left his body and is light side. So his Force spirit is running around helping your character in the game. Kinda.
They're still balanced.
Yeah, but it's not gray. It's still not great because he isn't balanced himself.
It's still the same person.
He's so conflicted, though, that he has literally separated his essence from his body.
But the addition of body and soul become gray. And so therefore,
but they never merge them back together. When they come back together, he just dies.
And one of the fan theories for before The Force Awakens is that Vader was going to show up in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And he was going to be half Anakin on one side and half Vader the other side.
That would have been
because of how conflicted he was.
That would have been stupid.
It would have been actually kind of cool.
No, it would have been stupid.
It would have been Phantom of the Opera-esque, and I would have been very disappointed.
Yeah, that would have made me
But it wouldn't have made it New Hope.
It would have made me hate Episode 7 as much as I hated Episode 1.
Or 2.
Or 2. Or 3. No, I hated Episode 3 as well.
Regardless, hopefully that answered some of your questions involving the gray side.
That was awesome. Thank
you.
you.
There you go. No problem. Anyway. What do I want?
I don't give a shit.
Me.
I want to know what love is.
I want you to show me.
That's going on the podcast.
Yes, it
I'll
is.
find it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Let me think here.
And no, we're not getting into that. That's not.
That's a different podcast.
Love in the Star Wars.
honestly,
It's a different podcast.
Honestly, it just dawned on me.
Is awkward.
Honestly, it just dawned on me.
It is the
I
Star
would
Wars podcast.
I would like to see more info about the giant space slugs.
The ones that try to eat.
The Hutts?
The ones that tried to eat the Millennium Falcon that were inside the giant tunnel.
Oh,
this is no cave.
Yeah, where you can see the freaking arm.
The cave's collapsing. This is no cave. Collapsing. There you go.
Clapping. It's a clapper. Clap.
Come get your tacos.
I would like to know more about those, honestly. Like, you don't really see a whole lot of those.
Huh?
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. How's 15,000 tons of Kung Pao chicken?
So I think it's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because Michelle Tran, I think is her name.
So what are we going to do? Like,
is
we're
going to be the first Chinese woman in Star Wars. We're talking over each other. I'm trying to make a fact.
All right.
Noises!
Seth Green, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a fact here.
Yeah.
Michelle Tran, as I think her name, I think she's going to be like the first Asian woman in Star Wars.
Technically, there was an Asian woman in it, but they cut her out because she was in Playboy.
Asian. Oh, Playboy.
She was an Asian.
No.
Asia.
Biling.
Oh.
Biling, the chick that played the android from Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Bilingual?
No, Biling, that's her name.
Okay. Probably, yeah.
She is actually, but no, she was actually one of the aides to Palpatine in Episode 3. They cut all her scenes out because she ended up being in Playboy.
Oh. No.
Or was it because she was Asian?
No, it was because she was in Playboy.
No, it was probably
thought
it was honestly because she was
Wars.
like she was George Lucas's little play toy, and then he found out she's doing Playboy and is not actually her play toy.
No, he's got
Lucas
other
never
play toys.
touched any of that.
He touched Carrie Fisher, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
100%
he might have
positive
touched,
he did.
Mark Hamill, but
Ah.
sorry guys.
Fuck a Twi'lek.
Oh.
He's already like there. I mean,
Is it?
Is he gonna snap? Is he gonna
because
break?
he's picturing Mark Hamill?
Fucking a Twi'lek.
Being fucked by George Lucas?
Being fucked by a Twi'lek.
Being fucked by George Lucas.
Oh my god! Now that is a combination.
This is just like a human centipede of Star Wars references.
Now that really is a different podcast.
Even I'm ashamed now.
Good. Live in it.
Regardless.
Okay, well,
Yeah, no, I would like to see more about what's going on with the space slugs, because honestly, those things are big, and like, how do you only see like one of them?
Credit.
How do you see only one of them ever?
It's also probably like the
They're
closest thing
huge.
that's ever killed Han Solo until his bitch ass son Kylo Ren
Did kill
They
him.
didn't.
did kill.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, nobody else even got relatively close.
My question is, why doesn't the Empire just try to tame the slugs and use those to like kill everyone?
They get eaten.
The slugs?
No,
the
the Empire.
The space slugs isn't big enough to eat an ISD, though.
Sure it is.
No, it
You
isn't.
can beat by the chunk.
Yep. Bits and pieces. Get close enough. I'll bite your nose off.
Valid point. All right.
Like the Death Star just looks like a big old... It looks like a pumpkin.
Well,
No, the Death
might
Star
get caught.
fucking... No, Death Star could totally fucking nuke a goddamn fucking
Well, so
space
can
slug.
stars.
Well, from a distance, yeah, but if the slug got close enough,
It can
it
start
could choke on the Death Star.
Okay, I think
Or
we're
it could
getting,
try to burrow into
I think
it.
we're getting off topic.
'Cause
No,
things
it's
are-
No, it's
This is really interesting. I
It's
want to
still-
know. That's what we need a spin-off of.
Okay, that's the
Slugs.
spin-off topic.
A Star Wars
It's like-
story.
because I still got the voices of the slugs from Robot Chicken in my head.
Hello, Gary. How's it
Yes, yes,
Hello, Gary. Oh, I'm in
Yeah.
I'm in the mood for a bit of like Chinese.
yeah.
Do you think we can order Chinese? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like 15,000 pounds of Kung Pao chicken.
What?
How much chow mein would we like? I don't know. Oh, I
How are
love
we
chow
gonna pay
mein.
him?
How are we gonna pay him? We're gonna pay right now? Nah, we'll just eat them when they deliver it. Okay.
That's a good idea. Wow, I actually did that pretty well. I'm impressed.
Anyway.
Anyway,
But going back
Yeah,
to...
no,
what
like
the fuck? Face up. Face up.
No, he's
Podcast.
laughing. He does the same thing as Jake.
You're on. You're on. Deep throat hyena.
Deep throat hyena?
That's.
Please do that accent again.
Which one?
No.
The one you were just doing.
Hello, Gary. How's it going?
No, that was accurate.
Hey, Charlie. Let's go to Candy Mountain.
So good. Do that with that accent. Do that with that accent.
Yeah, if any of you haven't
Charlie, how's it
seen
going?
Charlie the
Candy
Unicorn,
We're gonna go to
watch
Candy
it.
Mountain,
It's
man.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's
Let's
absolutely
go to Candy
fucking
Mountain.
horrible.
Yeah, Charlie. Let's
Anyway,
go to Candy Mountain.
Anyway, yeah, no, space slugs. Like, why aren't there more of them?
Space
That's
Slugs,
my
a Star
topic.
Wars
That's
story.
that's the segue topic right now. Is why
That
are there
would-
no space slugs in Star Wars? Like, you only see it once, and then they're nowhere, anywhere.
That's
I
not
just-
true. You saw him in fucking Robot Chicken.
Yeah, no, I'm talking like in any of the episodes. You see one once, and that's it.
Maybe
I
that's
don't
the
know.
next spin-off. Maybe we're not getting Boba Fett. Maybe we're not
The
getting Obi-Wan.
Slugs? The
Space
Space
Slugs, a
Slugs?
Star Wars story. I'm actually really interested in this.
I don't
or
think it's
it
gonna
could be
happen.
like-
I don't think.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be-
depth.
I think it's going to be 2.5 hours of them going. Do you see anyone?
How are they,
I
there's
don't
no
see
depth. They
anyone.
don't even talk, man. Like, seriously.
They're like,
They don't even make that sound.
They don't make noise. They're in space.
What they do is
don't bring that in.
what they do is
And then eat things. They have Minox living in their fucking bellies or whatever. I don't know. They do.
the mouths on the tongue.
Oh,
Dude, I almost had to call 911.
are you okay?
He's a space whale.
We are unfortunately coming close. We're at time, I believe. Okay. That would be the cue right
That
there.
would be the cue.
That would be the cue.
Shut the fuck up, Jacob. Get out of here.
No, you get out of here.
Thank you all for joining us in the podcast today. We hope you enjoyed it and that you learned a thing or two.
Hopefully.
Like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe.
Like and
That
subscribe.
was a force ghost.
Please, by all means,
Whoa!
please, by all means,
Please,
join us
oh
again
God.
next time when we discuss other things.
Yeah.
Have fun. Bye.